Game started.
Dominic G. from the United Kingdom. Okay, well, let's try E4. Maybe we'll get a Sicilian. No, it'll be an E4, E5 game. Okay. And, well, let's go with the Ruy Lopez. Haven't played one of those in a while. So we're doing the main line, the Morphe defense. Okay, it's a little bit early for B5, but no big deal. And he goes with D6. He hasn't played Bishop E7, and he hasn't played Knight F6. So this pawn is not under attack. As soon as I play D4, I'm threatening to play Knight to G4, but let's castle first. And he might want to pin that knight. Okay, so now I can just play Knight to G4, and Knight G5, and what can he do about it? I'm threatening to win a pawn here. It's not so easy to defend. Well, we'll see if he has a plan. He's just going to ignore it. Okay. Well, that's exciting. It's sort of like the two knights line where you give up the pawn here. Except it's a much more closed position, so I don't think this can be any good. Let's take with the knight, forking the queen and the rook. Queen moves, and I get a
Black
rook.
resign. Incoming challenge.
Okay, now let's play another game.
Game started.
A little more alert this time. Okay, so Sicilian defense. G3, you don't see that every day. Okay, let's develop the knight then. And G3 and knight C3. So the bishop here gives him control over the light squares, and also this knight. So maybe I'll counter that with E6. And yes, I can play knight F6. He can't immediately push. So we've gotten into a closed Sicilian here where white has played D3 instead of D4 and fianchettoed his bishop. It's a respectable way to play, I believe. Now, if I play D5, he might push on and knock my knight back. And then later he has the idea of getting his knight into this square. So before I play D5, I'm going to play A6 to keep his knight from coming to B5 to that square. And then I play D5, also at a time when this diagonal is obstructed by his knight. Okay, so he didn't push. Let's go ahead and take, make sure there's at least one open line in the position. Don't want it totally blocked up. And castle. If he wants to trade queens, I can take back with the rook. Helps my rook develop. So he doesn't trade. Okay, this pawn is defended. Maybe threatening further expansion. This pawn is loose on G3. So
Server
knight H4,
announcement.
Knight H5 hitting G3. He pushes. I can actually drop the knight in there, but then it may be trapped at that point. Maybe I should expand on the queen side. Push this pawn and play queen to B6 there, getting on this diagonal with this king. He brought his knight over to defend the G pawn anyway. And then with the queen here on B6, it blocks that diagonal. I can play bishop to B7, supported by the queen, and not be so scared. And then maybe rook to rook D8 and knight to D5. No, that's not possible. Knight takes, pawn takes, knight takes. He's got too much force on it. Still, rook D8 looks like a good move anyway. Maybe rook D8, D7, the other rook to D8. There's only one open file. Now he's taken a piece away from defense of the D5 square. So rook D8, pinning that knight. Actually, let's back up. I think I could have taken this pawn here, right? This pawn was loose after this move, after here. Yeah, okay, I was so occupied with my own plans I missed that, but you should take advantage of a chance like that to grab the pawn. Okay, so he defended his pawn. He moved his queen out of the pin. And now I can put a knight here on... I can put a knight on d4. Knight takes, pawn takes, and then the bishop has to move. This pawn is defended twice and attacked twice, so it's close to being loose once again. I'm also threatening c2, which he ignored. He seems vulnerable to these forks. It was a fork in the previous game that got him in trouble. Okay, so I can take this bishop or take the rook in the corner. Well, the rook is worth more material. The bishop is more active at the moment, but in the long run the material will out. So he's putting a lot of pressure on my c pawn. So let's get out of the pin and then prepare to play c4. Okay, he's let go of this pawn. No, it's still held on. Let's see. Rook takes knight. Bishop takes knight here. Knight can still take it. He's got a lot of force on that. Okay. Doubling rooks on the d file. Yeah, he's going to open things up here. Not a bad plan. And hitting my loose bishop. So let's find a home for it. So threatening over here and over here. So pressure on d2 there. If I can eliminate this knight, I'm getting rid of one of the defenders of the e4 pawn, and if I can take that, that'll be good. I keep pawn in his defense. Notice how white can play on the exchange down for quite a few moves. It's not until my last rook gets into play that my material advantage will be significant. I just have to hold on until that happens. That's why sometimes it's preferable to take the bishop instead of the rook and just get rid of a piece that's active in the middle game. But you should look for some tactics to justify that. Okay, well, he's thinking here. He can't move the knight very easily. I mean, where is it going to go back to? It could go to f3. Yeah, that's a reasonable square. But it left this pawn hanging. So I should probably grab with the knight because that hits the queen. Okay, the queen comes over here. I'm not yet getting mated. Let's get some counter pressure against his king. He's opened up lines towards his king, so his bishop is pinned. His knight's defending the bishop. His queen can't easily attack g2, but okay, he can attack h2 with his knight. That's a good point. Okay, I can take here a check first. Let's do that.
Check.
And then I can take this knight. Then I can take this bishop. And this is the kind of position where now the rooks should be worth something. Maybe rook d2 check. That looks good.
Check.
Because if he moves the king out of the way, I've got queen to here, checkmate. Queen h2 is checkmate, but he defends.
Check.
So I've still got queen h2 here.
Check.
Okay, and now maybe rook e8. I want to be a little bit careful. My back rank, if I lift the rook up, he can checkmate me on the back rank.
White resigns.
Okay, but probably I was going to win that. I'm a pawn, 2 pawns up plus the exchange, and ready to get all my pieces into the game. So I will upload, I guess, both of these games and do a post-mortem. See you guys later. Bye.